My name is Tasja Botha. I am the sales director for Openlink across EMEA. I look after everything in the financial side, so capital markets, corporate treasury, as well as everything in the banking, central banking, government institutes. Yes, Openlink went with its first central bank back around 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, life was a little bit easier for a central bank. They didn't have all the bailouts, they didn't have the different interest rates, they didn't necessarily have all the liquidity issues that they currently have. So since then, that world has evolved, and our client base has really pushed us into ensuring that our product can handle all of these different things in the market. So what I mean by different things is the what ifs. The what ifs this one I have to bail out, or what happens if this particular country needs more asset-backed securities, for example. So we are able to actually handle all of those in the single solution. So all the what if trades. On the risk side of things, yes, most treasury systems can do market risk, for example, but it's the credit risk that's also very important. It's being able to understand and run the different volumes that you need to do on those testing side of things. And then the other key thing as well is about not just one single entity that they want to add onto the treasury systems. A lot of them potentially also want to bring their own pension funds onto our platform. So our system can actually handle numerous legal entities. It's not just the one legal entity that it needs to do. Openlink has been in the industry now for 20 years. My first central bank client was 20 years ago. Since then, we've grown in that central banking community space, and our central bank community is very, very active. They're very active in evolving the roadmap and ensuring that the roadmap actually continues to develop into the spaces they want it to develop into. So those areas could be like collateral management. That's really massive on central banking agenda at the moment. Also, what ifs? What if trades? What if a different economy happens? Or what if a bank, a regional bank, collapses? So it's all of those what if trades, as well as not just market risk, but it's also the credit risk side of things. So people are really wanting to stress test these outliers, which normally they wouldn't necessarily have done. So I'd definitely say since 2007, the product has really, really gone even further into that space of making sure that the central banks can get what they need. Yeah, so I would say most central banks are pretty similar, to be honest with you, and their demands are pretty similar. So what we are finding is what we've been doing for our other clients, our new clients that are coming on board are wanting the same. So yes, they are looking for different instrument types and different things, but the central banking community all wants the same. So we are actually able to use what we know, our knowledge in our existing client base, actually to go across into our new client base as well. So we try and make sure that we stay standard, I'd say 80-20 rule, so it's 80% out the box, 20% configurable for those nuances that they have to change. Openlink Funder is one single product. It is not made up of separate products, so there's no integration layer that connects all the things. So it's an actual true, what I'd say, transactional life cycle system. So from the time of execution, it comes into Funder, and then it goes all the way through the trade life cycle. So that's front office, middle office, back office, and it can actually do all in one single system, where the traditional treasury systems have to have gone out and get something else. So like attach a risk system, for example, or attach a credit system specifically, because a lot of traditional treasury systems can do market risk. There's never been a problem in that space. It's more the credit risk side of things, where Openlink doesn't need to do that. It is one single product from the ground up. That's how it has been developed. It's what they call an open product, Openlink. So I would say since 2007, we've been becoming more and more active in communication with the central bank community. That's not just the Openlink central bank community, that's actually other central banks. I'd say definitely in the last 2 years, we've been very involved in discussing with them what their actual pain points are. And through that evolution and through that discovery, we've actually realized that it's the pain points on the instrument types, different instrument types that they want to trade on the fly, for example, be able to bring it into their portfolio. Or it could be the different what-if trades, for example, the different credit risk analysis that they have to run, and that really puts a lot of pressure on the volume. And what they're finding is that actual performance of the traditional treasury systems cannot handle the new volume that's coming through into the banking world, especially for central banks. So you must remember, Openlink Cloud is on the Azure platform. So Azure keeps opening new data centers. So just recently, I've been talking to South Africa, okay, and South Africa never had a data center, but I think it was back in November. They've just recently opened an Azure data center. So it's constantly evolving in different locations. So at one stage, I think there was none in Tokyo, but now Tokyo has had one. So I think as the Azure cloud platform evolves and grows, you will find it starting to be in specific locations. And you'll see quite a lot of our client base will be able to piggyback off that, to be honest with you. So firstly, we have to take a step back with Openlink Cloud. So Openlink Funder is actually built from the ground up as a product that can utilize the features and benefits of the cloud. So a lot of people say, oh, they can run on the cloud. Yes, they can run on the cloud, but can they really use the public cloud's features? So that is like ramping up, ramping down as and when it's needed, or creating separate and different environments for different testing, different options that you want to do. Most of the products out there can't do that. And this is where Funder is unique in its way, that because it's nth-tier architecture, and it's also it's built on a grid engine kind of architecture as well. So that allows you to put in more grid engines, more computing, so that you can run all these extra credits, risk, VAR risk, etc. that you need to do. Where central banks come into play, they're no different to anyone else in the market, to be honest, in the sense that capital markets always said no, they were never going to go to the cloud, but they're starting to consider it right now, and they're considering it because of a few reasons. One is they want a consolidated play, one. Number two, they want to make use of the cloud. So where I can see central banks, and we've been discussing to our existing client base, currently is dev test. So instead of going to buy all the equipment that's sitting out in your environment, you can actually go in, ramp up, ramp down as and when you need it on the Openlink Cloud. And that's where the difference is. So right now we're doing a bit of POCs with them, trying to understand the security, because security is very important. So we have to go through a lot of security proofing testing. And I wouldn't be surprised. In years to come, they would also most probably land up going to the cloud. It's just a matter of timing.